Mission Impossible is a symphony of action, scale, and spectacle. Tom Cruise has outdone himself. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, this Thursday. Rated PG-13.
A history of winning began with losing sweat until a breakthrough in hydration science at the University of Florida brought Gatorade to athletes everywhere. Gatorade hydrates better than water, so you can sweat more, win more. Gatorade, is it in you?
And now, two pigeons bemoaning the fact you can choose the TV you want with DirecTV.
So now they can pick out their favorite entertainment when they sign up and save money?
You mean if you like sports?
You can get a sports pack.
What about entertainment?
Entertainment pack.
It's like finding an old pizza with your favorite toppings, which for me would be pineapple and toenails.
Pineapple?
Pay for the TV you want, not the TV you don't. Genre pack starting at $34.99 a month. Visit DirecTV.com for more information. New residential customers only. Local channels vary by market. Services renew monthly unless you cancel online. Credit card required. Restrictions apply.
Military families, Verizon is offering a discount of $15 off your monthly plan with a fast, reliable Fios 1 or 2 gig plan because Verizon is proud to serve those who serve. Visit your local Verizon store or call 1-833-VERIZON to learn more.
A history of winning began with losing sweat until a breakthrough in hydration science at the University of Florida brought Gatorade to athletes everywhere. Gatorade hydrates better than water, so you can sweat more, win more. Gatorade, is it in here? Hello?
Hey there, I'm here to tell you that for the first time ever, you can play Huff and More Puff online, only on FanDuel Casino.
Wait, aren't you the big bad wolf?
Yes, but did you hear what I just said? Huff and More Puff is exclusively on FanDuel Casino.
What big teeth you have.
Right, big teeth, but also big chances to win.
And so much hair.
It's fur, but try to focus. You can play Huff and More Puff online for real money, only on FanDuel Casino.
21 plus and present.
yükseldi. Bak şu. Don't stop.
At the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. And you come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop it, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. Like girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, don't mind me. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, that seems too much. Got the money, put that money on me. Something
guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's our best price ever on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees, guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, we got you. Visit your local Philly Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE will be temporarily slower than charge. Domestic data and monthly rate. Additional time promotions apply.
Brownie batter and chocolate chip cookies. Even more outside summer money. Starting today because nothing says summer like baseball and new summer recipe candy. Right now, happy tastes
They fought back the street, right?
going up. The dust has only just begun to fall. Cracks and sinking. Round again and revitalize this fire burning. When beats it's a mess. People would stop to hold their heads heavy. Catch me around here. They were here first. What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, 'cause it is. What you say? That it's just what we need. You decided this. What you say? What did she say? Some notes keep falling out your mouth. Mid-sweet talk, newspaper, I got it. Speak no, feeling no, I don't believe you. You don't care a bit, you don't care a bit. Some notes keep falling out your mouth. Mid-sweet talk, newspaper, I got it. Speak no, feeling no, I don't believe you.
work again because they're actually publicly traded, but they went bankrupt. And D-Wave was going to go bankrupt. But the Willow bubble happened, and the stock went up, and now Barrett's, or whatever his name is, gets to sell all of his stock and, you know, try to pump it up further and get more stock grants and all that. But the reality is, you know, the stock market for him is an liquidity exit tool, right?
Yeah.
That's the function it's serving for him is, you know, how do I, you know, the input to the machine is pump, and the output is personal money for me. And whatever I have to do to get the pump going, I'll do it. And, you know, part of it is, you know, piggybacking off of, you know, the NVIDIA and Google, you know, various news drips and drabs that come out about quantum. Part of it is capitalizing timing-wise on a huge sea of liquidity in a bubble. But, you know, it's...
Like, it might just stop getting a new state of matter quantum just going, and now they're writing that with things like, and they're just like all sorts of, you know, tweets and kind of flowing out.
Yeah, longs, like a lot of people who are longs in retail, like they'll literally do stuff like Google like what is a good stock to buy or something. Or like they'll go to Barron's.com or Yahoo Finance and they'll just look at what's made the news and they'll buy whatever stock is on their screen. Like they'll read 2 or 3 articles, they'll be like, okay, I'm busy, I have to go back to my day job. What's going on out there? Imagine if you're a dentist or something. And
well, it's crazy to say that because I'm in the industry, I'm an advisor, my family, my dad's advisor. He has clients in January talking about, oh, you get into Rigetti and you do this and that. And we're talking about people that have just sold businesses for $25-30 million. Right. And they're even talking about it. It's like, what is that? Like, where is the rationality anymore? There is none, obviously. But how and why is perception such?
Well, I think if you have liquidity, you tend to want to gamble with it. Even people who have sold businesses or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like human nature. And if you go to Yahoo Finance, I'm sure you can find an article about quantum on there pretty much every day for the last month or two. And you look at it and you don't know any better, and you basically say, this sounds cool. This sounds like the future of computing. And, you know, sure, and I missed NVIDIA or I missed AI, so let me get this thing. And, you know, I think what quantum really tells you is nothing about quantum computing. And it tells you everything about liquidity. Because I can show you a chart of Fartcoin and superimpose it with Rigetti, and you would not be able to tell the difference. All that you would be able to tell is that there's been a lot of people interested in revaluing this company very quickly, and nothing has changed in the value of Rigetti at all. I mean, the CEO has literally told you that. Nothing has changed in the value of Rigetti, but it went from 1 to 13. And certainly nothing's changed in the value of Fartcoin because it has no value. So it's just a question of how much people have free capital and they're willing to speculate. So these stocks are more barometers and mirrors of reality than they are reflecting any kind of business fundamentals or something like that. And shorting plays a small role in both liquidity and alpha. Normally short sellers add to alpha by arbitraging prices. So they try to push expensive stocks down. They don't try, actually. They just happen to do it because they're selling, yeah. And if anything, shorts kind of don't want to have any market impact like any other market participant. And so by shorting, they tend to normalize prices. But in this case, you know, in the current environment, shorting is kind of, you know, very carefully done. And, you know, short capitulation does happen. It tends to be transitory. But I think usually when something's a quote-unquote short squeeze, it's mostly a long squeeze. You know, longs get greedy, and longs get, they start to sort of have this self-realization where they're, look at GameStop. I mean, the reason GameStop was able to go to 400 or whatever it went to was that the longs, temporarily at least, said, I'm not going to sell. Then they, of course, decided to all sell together, partially because a falling price got some of them scared. And, you know, the same thing will happen here, but it's just one of these things where it's a psychological question of musical chairs, and right now the music is playing, so no reason to go sit down in your chair when the party's when the music stops playing, whether that's a bad GDP number or a rough earnings season or whatever. Could just be 6 months goes by, a year goes by with no quantum computing innovation, right? We haven't seen any new quantum computers from IBM, and they promised bigger quantum computers and higher fidelity quantum computers. Nothing's happened. We've also been promised that from IonQ, and nothing's happened. So the state of quantum computing is not very different from it was a year ago. And if another 6 months goes by and we're still dealing with 100 qubit quantum computers with no logical qubits and poor gate fidelity, you would think people would get bored or move on to something else. You know, somebody mentioned rare earth mining. That excited some people, but not nearly enough as quantum computing. Some other people are interested in nuclear. Some people are interested in, there's always, Craper used to say on his TV show, I never heard him say this in real life, but he used to say, there's always a bull market somewhere. Have you heard that? You know him say that? And it's sort of like the average retail investor, ill-informed retail investor, is looking for that bull market somewhere. Because, they want the eye-popping return. And chasing whatever, bull market may be around is kind of what they're up to. And that's sort of the nature, of what, the average speculator is doing.
Yeah. Do you think any Fed auction tails that are going to be absolutely batshit crazy in the future are going to have easy, maybe hopefully the starting point, and at least I'm saying hopefully for our sake we'll call it, be the starting point of liquidity exit because this would be the first place you dump? Or do you think you're going to have bag holders like you were talking about earlier, just sitting along the ride forever, all the way down?
Yeah, most
institutions will be dumping whatever they've got going on.
Yeah, there's no institutions in these stocks other than the market makers that are forced to buy the stock when they're short calls. So, and I've even talked to a few of those market makers in the last few days, and there's no desire on their part to be involved in any of these stocks other than for the arbitrage of those trades. So to me, I do think most of the retail long investors will hold the bag at the top, but a few smart investors will sell and say, you know what, I made my double, I made my 2x, 3x, whatever, and I'm out, and they're the smarter investors of the bunch. But I think a lot of people who get into these stocks, they don't just want the next NVIDIA, they need the next NVIDIA. Because they have, well, they only have, $1,000 or $5,000 in investment, so it's not going to make them rich unless it goes up 1,000x. It might take care of a few bills, but it's not going to make them rich. And, I'm sure there's some people out there with 50,000 or 100,000, in the stock. But, even then, I mean, the more money in the stock, generally, the more people are willing to sell because, if you actually do have $1 million in this stock, you're sitting there thinking about locking in your gain. Now, some people ride it all the way back down, but I think the more capital you have, the more likely you are to sort of selling it out. But very few, people are actually going to hold it for, very few people are going to sort of time it well. I think most people who buy these stocks, again, they're hoping and thinking they will get 1,000x out of it. And people who bought the cannabis stocks did that. People who bought the self-driving car stocks did that. People who bought the weed stocks did that. I'm sorry, I said that one already. The 3D printing stocks, the .com stocks. There were people who were long eToys and like other garbage .coms, and they thought that on the way up, they were like, I'm never selling this. This is the future. And they were wrong. Like 3 or 4 companies have been like that over time. NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, you know who they are. But the vast majority of stocks have never done that and never will do that. So you're sort of gambling that this is a 1 in 20,000 chance that you're going to be, vindicated and get, 10x, 100x, 1000x, which, is just so unlikely. And in this case, practically zero chance.
You think there's like rogue hedge funds or not rogue, but hedge funds that are maybe not as well known that are playing this game because they can see that recession that's going on?
I don't think so. I'm going to let you go now. Thank you for calling. I don't think so. with respect for like somebody who would go long the stock because there's a lot of momentum and ride the wave. There are people who do that. They generally don't stick around and they don't do it with huge positions. They'll do it in a more distributed way. So like quant funds are long momentum generally. And so, you know, there tends to be like a momentum just trying to find some interesting callers. Well, even momentum longs tend to get out. Yeah, I don't see too many exciting callers, so I'm gonna shut the line down. This was fun. I have to do some real work, unfortunately. Thank you for calling, though. What's there to talk to about ASW? I mean, everybody knows this type of person. They think that they can trade their price action to billions of dollars, but they never do. My friend wants me to look at this apartment. I never did look into and BTS. Great call though. Were you long it? That was amazing. I did hear the update on the OpenAI device. I am down almost exactly 50%. No news on Quantum, just crazy short squeeze. We added more capital, I may add more. I think it's retail piling in. You know, I'm sure there's shorts getting squeezed.
Began with losing sweat until a breakthrough in hydration science at the University
The news is the Ion CEO wants to be the next video. We got ASW wants to be the next Steve Cohen.
Gatorade, is it in you?
This Thursday,
Clock is running.
you will never see a movie like this again. Mission Impossible is a symphony of action, scale, and spectacle. Tom Cruise has outdone himself. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, this Thursday, rated PG-13.
Hey, Daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? Before the premiere.
Just wait. You just wait.
For them. So, let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every day. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start fighting for your dreams?
I don't think there are too many people who like quantum stocks on this side.
Get Premiere.
No, I still think IonQ and Rigetti are great shorts. I think QUBT and D-Wave are maybe a little better. RC, that's a good one. Trying to find this Roche thing I had up. I closed it. The bag of Hunger Gate. Shorting the .com bubble was the same feeling. The guys who were long were telling Buffett that he was wrong. Think about this. The guys that were long the .com bubble were literally telling Warren Buffett he was wrong, this time was different. Quantum's the future, you don't understand. Yeah, Buffett doesn't always get it right either.
This is a good opportunity to learn.
Yeah, Druck was early, Soros was early, Tiger was early. Dot-com bubble took a lot of people for surprise. Caused a lot of wounds. But guess what? Those guys still have more money than they ever had. You know? Being a little early is not the worst thing. The worst thing is being long and thinking these things are the next big thing. Now, if you can actually get in as a long at the early part of a bubble and get out at the top, that's just as good as being short or better at the top. That's just as good as being short at the top, or even better. The problem is, you're knowingly buying a pile of trash.
If your small business is booming and ready to
That's hard to get comfortable
you might
with.
say something like,
It's certainly hard to get comfortable with in size.
crushed it. But if you need someone who can actually help protect
But you're
your
presupposing that
business,
there's a
just
way
say,
to get
"My
timing
good
right.
neighbor, State Farm is there."
Most
Just
people
like that.
traditionally
Your State Farm agent
have
can
thought
help you
about,
get
is
the
this a
coverage
good
you need
company
for
or a
your
bad
space.
company? Then maybe they worry
Your
about
small
timing.
business insurance
But very
needs
few people
might be
say,
your neighbor.
you know what, I'm
State Farm
willingly
is there.
able to put a huge part of my money in a company I know is worthless. Yes, I love doing this. No, but nobody does that.
Substances inside my blood. I got people reaching out to me when times get rough. Need to take my own advice. This shit has got me fucked up. Since I'm
You know, but if you can, God bless you, you know, it's like, it's a wonderful thing, you know, you'll be bigger than Soros very soon. But you know, most investors have a method, and that method involves some type of quality analysis of the company, and that quality analysis generally dictates what companies are eligible for being long or being short. Very few investors want to say that they partook in the inflating of a bubble of an asset they thought was worthless on the long side. If they do, they're usually not high conviction, they're small trades. Very few people say, let me buy the worst company. And the worst company is the ones that rally the most when there's liquidity. Because investors seek the edge of the capital curve as far as they can go out. You know, treasuries are not interesting. Equities aren't interesting. Or converts, maybe you're next. Wait, treasuries, other sovereigns, corporates, munis, those become interesting. You start to think about equities or converts, then equities. You start blue chip equities, now I'm not going to get a good return out of Coke and Walmart. Then you go to tech. Am I going to get a great return out of big cap tech? I don't know, I need something even riskier and crazier. What's the riskiest and craziest asset? There's only one or two assets riskier and crazier than quantum computing. It's meme coins. And you know, you can do that, and even riskier than that is stake. Just go to stake. You know, stake has good variance. You know, so people will want to gamble, and that's fine. But ultimately, the smart investor has at least some notion that he's buying a good company stock or a bad company stock, and at least has some notion that he's getting a good deal or a bad deal. Now, again, if you're a master at taking price action and converting it to P&L, that's wonderful. You know, there are people who have done that. Paul Tudor Jones, Steve Cohen, many others. There's nothing wrong with that. Dmitry Belyazny, Steve Schoenfeld, they're legends. They made billions. It's a wonderful thing. It's just not what everyone does. I mean, some people, and even these days, those guys don't do that. they tend to try to, at least understand what it is that they're buying or selling. And they tend not to make sort of wild bets and stuff they don't understand really well, or they look at charts. There are chartists that largely have hung it up. There are still some people who are interested in charts, but it's mostly disappeared from the street, which doesn't mean it's a bad thing to do or not a bad thing to do. You do whatever works for you. But I think that, my style, by the way, I don't think that my style is superior or inferior to anybody else's. I think that it's what I'm comfortable doing. Quantitative investing is kind of a superior style in a lot of ways. But there are barriers to entry in that style. There are also trade-offs you have to make. It's a very high leverage style. Some people don't want to do that. It's a style that's a function of somewhat complex, sometimes not so complex, computational machinery and mathematical machinery. And, it's a style that not everyone's comfortable with. If I told you tomorrow there's a computer program that's going to outtrade you or outinvest you by 100x, you might say, yeah, I don't know, I don't want that. And I think Buffett would say, I'm not sure I want that. And so there's all kinds of strategies. There's arbitrage strategies like merger arb. It's all up to you to decide what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I think the key is longevity, risk management. For me, I really do want to know, is the company that I'm trading or investing garbage or not? That may or may not be necessarily correlated with the stock price in the near term. In fact, as we know, sometimes you do want to buy a garbage company at a really good price, like below cash or something like that, or 3 times earnings or whatever. And sometimes you want to buy a great company at a really expensive price, like Palantir or something like that. It really depends on your strategy. There are people that are so-called growth investors, like Kathy Wood. She'll buy a growth stock at virtually any price. I won't. It sort of has to make sense to me from a valuation perspective as to how I can get a good deal. Now, it's not easy to value growth stocks, but, I think that, you have to have some flexibility and ingenuity. Sometimes you get a little bit of luck, good or bad. Right now I'm getting a little bit of bad. And sometimes you get really good luck. When we made 24x on Cassava short and Galectin short and the first quantum dump, that was great. 24x was fantastic. I mean, I've never made 24x in my life before in 3 months or whatever it was that we did. It was awesome. But, there was a bunch of good luck thrown in there. There was good luck that Cassava didn't try to fix the results or spin the results, or, Cassava didn't try to lie or delay or whatever. It just worked. Galectin was similar. Galectin didn't do much spinning. We're kind of lucky that we made it out alive from Galectin, because Galectin didn't really dump that hard, even though it should have. It was such a microcap that it might have not dumped. I was worried it was going to go up. The first quantum dump may not have happened, right? Nobody knew Jensen was going to say it's 30 years out, which he hasn't changed his mind, by the way. Yeah, I'd love to talk to them too. So so when Jensen said quantum is trash, it's 30 years away, the stocks dropped by 50%, we made a fortune. VTL was great. There were so many great short trades we've done over the years. We're going to get a couple up soon with Immune and Capricorn. We got a good pipeline of new biotech shorts. But, this is, we may be lucky on those, we may be unlucky. I mean, it's a probability distribution. There's no certainty. So there's a lot of ways you can trade in the stock market. One of the things you could do is use options for leverage. You could also borrow money using a margin account for leverage. So those are 2 ways that you can make a short return more than 100%. I actually didn't use puts, I used calls. being a cassava trade. Well, anyway, you know, it's all up to you how you want to invest and trade.
Lies a mouldering in the grave. John Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave. John Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave.
Qubits, D-Wave is Apple, Rigetti is Microsoft, IonQ is Nvidia, and QUBT is Broadcom. Woo!
Looking kinda down. Stars of heaven, they are looking kinda down. The stars of heaven, they are looking kinda down on the grave of old John Brown.
I don't know anything about nuclear. Bubbles can last as long as the buyers have money. I think Corby is probably a good short. Franco, you're so confused. I like Hyperlook good. It's hard to say, Luke. I mean, there's so many different market conditions that lead to these bubbles that, you know, what is it? Is there a way to interpret it or think about it? Usually, you know, best you can think about it after the fact. It's kind of hard to, like, in the moment, understand even what's going on. That's why people like to talk to market participants, and I certainly like talking to some of the market participants here. And you can see that, like, almost none of the market participants are here for the fundamentals, which is great, because it tells you that eventually the liquidity drive has to, how should I say, it has to run out of steam. You know, liquidity and price increases can only last so long. There has to be substance to a company eventually. So I prefer that kind of short than shorting, say, HIMS or Palantir, where the company's doing really well and I'm waiting for the company to make a misstep. They may not. Here, it's like there is no misstep or the company's doing well. It's just people chasing the stock. That is why I'm doing well. Kamala, I'm sorry about your diagnosis. Crohn's disease is, depending on whether you have Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, they're really tough diseases. They are treatable. Remicade is a good start. There are much more powerful drugs, though. I would start with a different one. Skyrizi, for example, Tremfya. A TNF alpha inhibitor in 2025 is kind of a little bit of a weaker drug to start with, in my opinion. Okay, D-Wave is starting to calm down a little bit. I was going to open the window a little bit more at 19. It's hard to track liquidity. I mean, I think that I like to track, like, you know, Bitcoin and Fartcoin. I mean, those are two good barometers for liquidity. They're doing really well. You can, the S&P 500 is a proxy for liquidity. I don't think the quant funds are toying with the rest of us. I know that there's a temptation to think that. A lot of people are thinking that. Some of the quant funds are long momentum, quite a lot of them. So I'm sure some of them are buying just because the stock's up. They buy too, but they generally don't put huge amounts of money to work in that. Market making is kind of where they can feel comfortable being delta neutral. So I don't think there's any conspiracy to pump these stocks to force short covering or something like that. It wouldn't make money. If you've ever thought about it, it just sort of doesn't make sense.
Crush the serpent with his heel.
I saw the Sui hack. Yeah, for retail liquidity, unemployment is a pretty good sign. I added to some of my positions yesterday. And I want to add today as well. You'd be surprised. I mean, volume was really high back in the day for .com stocks. I don't know. Some of it's hard to explain. No, I can add. I have a lot more capital I can add. I just hate doing it just to chase a short squeeze. I'd rather just wait it out. But I'll have capital if I have to. I don't know if the 2x funds do anything. I'm not sure. I've only added liquidity once to this. Oh man. Painful. I don't know what the theory is on BlackBerry. I haven't studied it. Anthony, they haven't sold a system in 4 years, so they don't have recurring system sales.
Caliucci's The Sincerely Tour, live across North America in 2025. With special guest, The Sacred Souls. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
When you think of hot, you might think about the sauna. About getting into your car on a summer day when it feels more like stepping into a sauna. But here, what you think like during Verizon Red Hot Deal Day, get hundreds of hot deals on all your favorites like iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence, Apple Watch Series 10, and iPad. Only until they forget your existing customers. Too hot? Just the right amount of heat. Don't wait. These deals end May 28th. You're doing very well. Verizon, very proud of you.
That's correct. They sold one computer in 4 years. Okay, maybe we finally get some relief here. This has been brutal. You got the Fibonacci retracement locked in? Let's go. I need the fib. I need the fib to go in my direction. Who checked the Fibonacci? Who's got the Fibonacci? Calculate it for me, please. All of the CEOs, Sarepta CEO, I demand, I'm going to call him up, I demand you say you want to be the NVIDIA of gene therapy. Caleb. Hey, Fibonacci, listen. You got the Fibonacci for me? Okay, Alejandro, if IonQ ever makes a computer that can solve Shor's algorithm with 300 digits, I will get a tattoo of IonQ if they're first to do it. Be right back, don't go anywhere.
You took a piece of my heart. I never thought that this could fall apart. You said you fell in love, and this was more than I had ever been afraid of. Another life, another happy ending. It cuts like a knife. Another place, another time, another hand to touch, another sun to shine. You got me
Sorry about that. My billionaire friend is asking me if I think these stocks are manipulated. I said it feels like that, but it's not. I'll check it out, Iris. Oh yeah, who's running for mayor? Maybe I should run for mayor after I'll be unemployed. Well, if Kerrisdale's even short 500,000 shares, IonQ trades 500,000 shares in 10 minutes now.
You're listening to Even in Arcadia, the new album by Sleepwalking. Listen on Spotify.
Workday is starting to sound the same. Find something that sounds better for your career.
Make sure you join GodelTerminal.com. Go to GodelTerminal.com.
Curated collections by relevant industries and
GODEL.com.
benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Sometimes it's right when it's wrong, and wrong when it's right. Sweet different colors in your sky. Sometimes a little sunset can look like a sunrise. I wanna feel what's real. I'm taking a ride to the back of my mind. Wanna taste my tears. I'm living a life, but something isn't working out. Open your mind. It's better trying to move on, trying to rewind. Butterflies and colors from your eyes. Sometimes a little heartbreak can look like a sunrise. I wanna feel what's real. I'm taking a ride to the back of my mind.
Also, we're looking for full stack engineers in New York City. If this happens to be you or somebody you know, email me, martin@dl.software. We pay top dollar for great full stack engineers. Love to see somebody who has a finance background. So if you worked at a fund or a financial software company. We'll also pay you if you refer us somebody. So if you refer us somebody that we end up hiring, we'll pay you 10% of their 12-month salary. So martin@dl.software.
I wanna feel what's real. I'm taking a ride to the back of my mind. Wanna taste my tears. I'm living a life, but something isn't working out. Something isn't working. Something isn't working.
Smart'll do. gonna be 300 pounds soon. That's still pretty good, Haywood. I mean, we'd still talk to him. 0.72 is a good job. Yeah, D000, are you crazy? How much money do you want to make, baby? I think we're on our $2 million a year run rate to pay for data. We haven't put a lot of our data that we are paying for in there yet. Some Wanga, some. She Fibonacci'd up my golden dome. Yeah, I saw the Bloomberg outage. The problem with Bloomberg is we can make a better version. Bloomberg's good, but it can be better. There's IonQ coming back, baby. I mean, D-Wave 1850 almost. We had 1850. 1850 is the current level of that window. If we go to 18, the window's shut. We shut that window. We go to 19, I gotta open something big back up. Which means I have to find somebody stronger than me and open it up. You can do a D000. You will get a good spot if you short now. Shit. I'd do anything to be in your position. Full time over mine, full time. Yep, Anthony for sure. Well, of course, equity research reports come from the banks. I guess from BB you mean bulge bracket, not Bloomberg. Got a collision there in acronyms. Yep, no, we have a Twitter API, Mike. We do hire trans, no problem. I gotta talk to one of my colleagues. Don't go anywhere. There'll be more entertainment soon. Whether the window stays shut or goes wide open, we'll see.
I'm eating Fun Dip right now. Not giving a fuck.
Now playing.
Clock is running.
You will never see a movie like this again. Mission Impossible is a symphony of action, scale, and spectacle. Tom Cruise has outdone himself. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Now playing. Rated PG-13.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You're listening to Even in Arcadia, the new album by Sleep Token. Listen on Spotify.
Wait till I get my money right. I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I told God I'll be back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless. To whom much is given, much is tested. Get arrested, guess until he get the message. I feel the pressure under more scrutiny. And what I do, act more stupidly. Bought more jewelry, more Louis V. My mama couldn't get through to me. The drama, people suing me. I'm on TV talking like it's just you and me. I'm just saying how I feel, man. I ain't one of the Cosbys, I ain't go to Hill, man. I guess the money should've changed them. I guess I should've forgot where I came from. Wait till I get my money right. And you can't tell me nothing, right? Excuse me, was you saying something? You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Let a
up the suicide doors. This is my life, homie, you decide yours. I know that Jesus died for us, but I couldn't tell you who the side was. So I parallel double park that motherfucker sideways. Old folks talking about back in my day, but homie, this is my day. Class started 2 hours ago. Oh, am I late? No, I already graduated. And you can live through anything if magic made it. They say I talk with so much emphasis. Ooh, they so sensitive. Don't ever fix your lips like collagen to say something where you gon' end up apologizing. Let me know if it's a problem then. Alright, man, holla then. Wait till I get my money right. And you can't tell me nothing, right? Excuse me, was you saying something? You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Let the champagne splash. Let that man get cash. Let that man get past. He don't even stop to get gas. If he could move through the rumors, he could drive off of fumes.